What is up, guys? My name is MipZ and welcome back for yet another League of Legends video. So today we're playing a champion that really likes to bring justice to the Rift. This video was also requested by a couple of our subscribers, so thank you Pie2Cool, Joe Grant and Sylvanas Death Archer. Really do appreciate it. Today we are of course playing Garen. So Garen is an absolutely awesome champion, and he's a champ that I would say if you're into the top lane, this is a champ that you should at least have played or should play. He's a champ that can teach you a lot about the fundamentals of the game, the fundamentals of a wave management, etc. He is a macro champion. What this basically means is that his abilities and everything are fairly simple. And this really allows you to focus on all the other aspects of the game. So this is kind of cool. Anyway, the agenda for today is of course that we will learn how to play Garen and what this guy can do. The first thing we'll talk about is kind of just the overall feel of him, what you can expect, and basically if he's a champ for you as a player, depending on what level you're at. Next up, we'll talk about the abilities. We'll go into the very detail of every single ability and talk about why it works as it does and how it combines with the rest of his kit. And then at the end of it, we'll talk about combos. We'll also do this in between as we talk about the abilities. But basically, hopefully we'll manage to talk like the primary or most of the ability combos things while we're talking about the abilities. And then at the very end, we will talk about how to play this guy in the early, mid, and late game. So that's the overall plan. For those of you who are new in here, make sure to subscribe down below. I post new videos almost every single day. So there's a lot of new content coming out. Also, just full entertainment videos are coming soon. And we are also streaming every single Friday on Twitch. So if you feel like it, then you should definitely go onto Twitch. And yeah, come hang out with me every Friday. Anyway, that is going to be it for all that plucking. So now let's actually get into talking about this champion. As I kind of said, then Garen is a champ that mostly really likes to... he's really a simple champion, kit-wise and ability-wise. And this allows you to really focus on the... overall like general macro game or macro play basically means decision making of how you whether or not you push the lane and whether or not you're going for objectives like Drake, etc., and all these things. It really allows you to focus on the overall chess of playing Garen or playing a top laner. And this is what Garen is insanely good at. The thing with Garen is basically that like this champion is the top lane version, in my opinion, of Ashe. And what I mean with this is that since he just allows you to go full... Ooh, we are gonna flash here. That was a little too close. Since he just allows you to focus fully on the kind of core game, then he can teach you so much for other champions as well, because everything you learn on Garen, you can basically take this and apply it to any other champion in League of Legends. This is where it becomes really cool, and this is why I'm saying that you really should have Garen, at least have played him, just to check that your fundamentals are down. It's very important. So kind of to answer the question, if I had a friend coming to me saying, yo dude, I really want to play top lane, I've been looking at this guy called Garen, is he anything that I should play? For a new player, definitely this is a great champion because it'll teach you the game of League of Legends in terms of strategy. He's very simple, so you won't have to use much time learning his kit, and you'll from the get-go start doing pretty well. As soon as that's kind of over, then you can either transition to other champs or just keep playing this one. Legitimately, you can play this one to really high elo. It's not a problem. For those of you who are mediocre or intermediate or higher, then this champion is still an amazing one for you, because you'll still be able to learn a lot, and you can still use it to basically carry your way through raiding as well. So he is just an overall awesome champ for anybody. So go pick him up. All right, so let's kind of talk about the abilities. Our very first ability is called Perseverance. And this is, again, with these champions and generally with almost any champion, then the passive is actually most commonly the ability that tells you the most about the champion. It's kind of a weird thing, but usually the passive tells you how the champion likes to be played. And this is also the case with Garen. So Garen's ability is called Perseverance. And Perseverance, what this one basically allows Garen to do is that he starts regenerating health. This is absolutely awesome. Like, this is super good. We might actually be able to just take an engage right here. He's gonna probably stun us. He's gonna back out. Now we have lane control. This is what we want. He used his ult too. Anyway, Perseverance, what this basically does is that it allows Garen to regenerate health for every 5 seconds if he has not taken damage for 8 seconds. So if you don't take damage on Garen for 8 seconds, then he starts regenerating. The amount of health he regenerates is based on his level. So the higher level he is, the more he regenerates. At maximum level, or at max level, level 18, he regenerates 10.1% every 5 seconds. So this is insane. You get full health pretty freaking quickly. So this is something you do want to think about. And this is also why, like, you've been seeing me basically just, instead of backing here, I've been in positions where I could just sit and hang back, regenerate my health before going for a new engage. And we're slowly getting this guy down to lower and lower HP. And this is kind of the cool thing about Garen. Like, he is so hard to kill because if you're struggling, you can just kind of hang back for a second and kind of regenerate your health, and then you're all good again. Like, you're ready for a new engage. So this is what Garen's passive does. It really allows him to focus on the macro game, because he can basically almost always stay in lane if that's what you want to. If that's what's best for the macro game, then go ahead and do it. This is the cool thing about him. If Garen takes any form of damage, then you'll have to wait 8 seconds in order to start regenerating health. All right, let's just draft this a little bit there. There we go. We do actually want to have lane pressure versus this guy, so this is really good. We could go for a back now. I think we will while he cleans up. All right, let's go for that. And there we go. And he's also gonna back, which is gonna be pretty nice. We're gonna go for a Trinity Force right off the bat. Get that part. We'll also, I think we'll get start building a Browless West. Let's go Thornmail. We really want this part. I'm just gonna wait for it, because this is gonna help us against his healing, by the way. It's gonna be really nice. All right, so far so good. Anyway, Perseverance, as I said, it just, all it does is it gives you this healing passively every time you haven't taken any damage for 8 seconds. Even minion damage stops it. The easiest way of seeing that this is currently healing you is you can either see this, basically this VFX effect thingy, or you can look down here and it'll say Perseverance, Garen is regenerating health. That's kind of cool. So this is something you want to play around. Your next ability is your Q, and this one is called Decisive Strike. Decisive Strike is also a really freaking awesome one. What this allows you to do is basically it allows Garen to take his blade and start, or he starts running really quickly. He gets 30% movement boost for up to 3.6 seconds, and his next basic attack is also gonna both deal more damage, and it will silence the target. Silence meaning that they won't be able to cast any spells or abilities. All right, so right here, this is a good trait. We'll definitely be taking that one. We have our Q back in just a second, so we'll just run over. We kind of try and zone this guy off now. We are starting to become stronger than he is. And we have the Browless West, so we're just kind of hanging out here. We have our jungler just underneath us. So let's just sit here and be a little annoying. There we go. Nice. So far, so good. But Decisive Strike, what this thing does, as I said, is basically it allows you to click it. You get movement speed for a brief moment. You get this 30%. You run, you can use it basically to chase your target down or even to flee if necessary. Oh, wow, I missed that one. Even to flee if necessary, but it deals a good chunk of damage, and it is what is called an auto attack reset. So what does it mean to be an auto attack reset? Well, it basically just means that idea. Oh wait, we need help down here, can we? All right, is he gonna chase? Nope. All right, good. An auto attack reset basically means that if you do an auto attack and then you click your ability right after, then you're instantly gonna attack again. That's what you just saw me do right there. It is a super effective thing to do. So you always, with abilities that can do auto attack resets, then you always want to take advantage of it, meaning that you always want to do an auto attack before clicking the ability, because that way you attack twice in a row really quickly. Let's get ourselves a pair of boots, and let's actually start building some more of our Trinity. There we go. So far, we're doing pretty well. All right, so that's kind of what your Q does. Gives you movement speed, your next attack deals extra damage, and silences the target, and that is it. This strike can also critical strike, by the way, just a good thing to know. So building crit on this guy is totally viable for that spell as well. Anyway, our next ability is called Courage, and this is kind of one of the abilities that most people overlook and use poorly. I'm gonna try and say it like that. Like, it is not unusual to see Garens use this spell very, very poorly. So this is one of the things that is really going to help you exceed your gameplay on him. There we go. Make sure we get this farm. And basically what Courage does is that every time that Garen gets a kill on a minion up till 120 minions, then he permanently gains 0.25 bonus armor and magic resist. So you definitely want to be good at farming. This is what this spell tells us. It's like, make sure that you get your farm, because this is going to make you stronger and stronger. Just going to make sure that we do everything we can to just be annoying to this guy. So that's basically what the first side of your W does. Your W has this passive side. Every time you kill a minion, you get 0.25 armor permanently and 0.25 magic resist. Once you get to 120 minions, then, like, having farmed that, then you are going to get an additional 10% increase to both your armor and magic resist permanently. So you really do want to rush this if you can get there, because it is a huge amount to get, especially in cases where you also are building armor or magic resist. Then it's basically just gonna boost that even more. So as you guys can see, this guy now is super afraid of us, and we're actually going to start freezing lane pretty soon. Also, we need to get some vision around us. We can just make sure that he's having a really, really hard time. There we go. He's going to kind of try to get out of this. I don't really want to take this fight. I don't think we have to. Like, we might be able to kill this guy one-on-one, but right now I just want my free farm. I want to make sure that we snowball. And there we go. So that's basically the passive side of it. It gives you this armor and magic resist that you really do want to have. I failed so much there. Oh, okay. He is just gonna finish this off. Run! Nope, not gonna get away. All right, I kind of deserved that one. Anyway, let's finish this item, and we'll also be finishing our boots. So that's kind of what that thing does. Or then there's the active side of our W, or Courage. And what this does is basically whenever you pop this one, then Garen suddenly gets this immense amount of additional reduced damage, such that he takes a lot less damage. He takes up to 30, or he takes 30% less damage for up to 5 seconds. So this is for quite a while that Garen just becomes really, really hard to kill. So this is something you want to use just before you're about to take damage. Not only this, but for the first 0.75 seconds when popping your Courage, when popping your W, then you also get an increased amount of tenacity. And this is, and also a shield, by the way. But the tenacity is the most important part. The shield, of course, helps you to negate any kind of or some of the damage coming in. But the most important thing is this tenacity. As an example, right now we're playing against Renekton. We get 60% tenacity for those 0.75 seconds when we pop our W. So tenacity, for those of you who don't know, what this thing does is that it actually reduces the time you get CC'd. So if you get stunned, get crowd controlled somehow, if you get stunned, if Renekton stuns us, and we have this tenacity on, then his stun is going to last a lot shorter. So this is what you want to go for. Just like we did here, we just popped it as he was about to do it. And basically his stun was almost not happening, because we were just sitting there being like, I popped my W the split second before he stunned us, and that just allowed us to completely smash this dude. So this is kind of what you want to be thinking about with Garen, is popping this thing just before somebody's about to throw a stun at you. The same you could do on Vigar's stun. You could also pop your tenacity or your W just as you run into his stun, and this will shorten the duration you'll be stunned by quite a significant amount. Like, it is insane. It's super good. All right, so that's kind of all that thing does. Let's just finish this turret real quick. We can do that. Take that damage. We'll push this, and we'll just really go for a quick back. There we go. Get that one. All right, so far so good. So that's kind of all that thing does. This was, of course, our W. Then we have our next ability, which is called Judgment. And Judgment is one of the most fun spells or abilities on... we're actually just gonna freak that with Soul Knife this and get that one and get ourselves a control ward. Judgment is one of the most fun abilities on Garen. This is his spin. This is what allows him to spin around like this and deal a chunk of damage. Every time he spins, he deals damage to anything around him. He also deals 20% more damage to the closest target. So this is something that is, or not 25%, sorry, to the closest target to him. So you always want to try and use your E such that you spin on top of your primary target. This is the way you deal the most damage. And you might think, well, it kind of stops there. No, there's more cool parts about... Oh, we might need some help in here. There are several other cool parts about this E. For one, whenever you do pop it, then if you spin on a target 6 times or more, then you reduce their armor. Oh, yep, that sucks for you, dude. I'm gonna agree. That really sucks for you. Yep. Nope.
Bye. Have a great time.
And we can get this guy probably. Let me help. Oh, okay. He died. But what is pretty cool about this is that when he spins on a target, then he also, if he's, then he basically reduces their armor by 25% for 6 seconds. This kind of works like armor penetration. This basically means that with Garen, then you want to make sure, like if you want to do optimal damage, if you have a short fight and you want to do optimal damage, then if you can get close to your target without using your E, then that's ideal. The reason for this is that whenever you use your E first and you spin 6 times on them, you get this armor reduction on them for 25%, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. And then you can just do your Q afterwards, and it is now going to have that increased armor reduction on that target, allowing you to deal more damage. So this is kind of a cool thing and something you do want to take advantage of. There is another cool part about his Judgment, and that is whenever Garen uses his Judgment, then he can stop it whenever he feels like it, which is kind of cool. If he stops it earlier than needed, or earlier than the duration is over, then he oh, this might be bad. Boom. All right, let's get out of here. If he basically if Garen stops his E before it finishes, then what happens is that the remaining duration that the E would have continued for will be refunded in the cooldown, meaning that you'll actually be able to get your cooldown back faster than if you finished it. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's basically that if you click it here and you stop it and there's a couple of seconds left, then instead of going on a full cooldown, then it will take the remainder of the spin and refund that as the cooldown. So basically you get it like, it's good to only use the E for the duration that you need it for. So if you're basically chasing someone down, instead of doing it like this, now we have full 7 seconds cooldown. If we killed it within the first second of our E, then it's better stopping it and we will get our ult back like 2 seconds sooner. So this is kind of a cool thing and a nice thing to take advantage of. It's honestly really, really nice. Also, another thing with your E is that it makes Garen ignore unit collision, meaning that it allows you to basically run straight through any units like this without having to awkwardly run around the target. I don't know why I just black screened there for a second. So this is also something you do want to be thinking about. But that is basically all this ability does. It's a very cool one and it can do quite a lot. Now to the I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Domation. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Domartian Reign. Domartian Justice, sorry. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm very sorry if that's incorrect. But his ult is called Domartian Justice. We can do this with our ability there. Should be able to catch up to this dude and just kill this one. And oh wow. Yeah, sure. We have our W back in just a second, and we are just gonna pop that, and we should be able to win this fight. I'm not gonna chase him here too much, at least, because I know for a fact that he has these abilities back, and I'm gonna wait. If I can wait for my W, I get health from in here. All right, let's see who is the spin quick king. Yep, I am. I'm the spin king. All right, our ult is called Domartian Justice. And what this basically does is that it allows Garen to basically bring down a sword or whatever from heaven. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it brings down a sword thingy that smashes down into his opponent. I think Domartian Justice, is that the name of his sword? I'm not quite sure. Somebody who knows more about the lore, feel free to tell me in the comment section below. But basically, he brings down this sword and it deals a huge chunk of damage, and it deals damage as true damage. So the way this works is, first of all, it deals a certain amount of damage all the way up to 450. It starts at minimum rank 1 of the ability. It deals 150 and goes all the way up to 450. Also, it increases, like, this is the base damage of it. Then it has the plus any damage, or plus depending on the missing health of your target. So the lower health your target is, the more damage this one deals. At minimum rank, this one is 20% of your enemy's maximum of the enemy's missing health, and at max rank it is 30%. This basically means that if your target has 1,000 health and it's rank 1 and it takes 20% off this 20% off this health, then if you get them pretty low, you can get a really high increased damage from using this ability. Like when you use it, it's so sick because you can do like 150 damage, and then on top you can probably like remove, let's say, 1,000 of their health. Oh, we can probably do something cool here. All right, I'm gonna do our W. Yeah, that's gotta suck for you guys. I know that gotta suck. I really feel bad for you. I really do feel bad for you. that was a sad Baron. That was a really, really sad Baron. You know what? Let's we could finish Thornmail. We're not really gonna go for it. We're just gonna greed, and we cannot finish this. We'll go. You know what? Actually, let's finish the Thornmail just for the heck of it. Go that, get this. Okay. So that's kind of what this thing does. It just allows you to do this instant damage. It deals true damage. For those of you who don't know what true damage is, it just means that it ignores any armor or magic assist that the target might have. This is kind of a cool thing. So you want to make sure that you use this ult basically when the target is low enough to get executed by it, basically finishing them. The best thing I can say is try to calculate it. Hover over your ult from time to time until you get a complete feeling of like how much damage it deals. Check right now, it says 450 damage plus 30% of the target's missing health. You can look at the target's health in the corner. So if you've taken off 1,000 health from your target, then you know 20% of that 20% is actually that you're going to deal a quite significant extra amount of damage. You're going to deal in another 300 damage on top of those 450, meaning that you're going to deal 750 damage with your ult. So this is really something you do want to take into consideration and try to calculate to the best of your ability. All right, let's this might be a really bad engage, by the way. I'm gonna finish. Crap, that was close. I'm gonna finish her, but that was really bad. That was a terrible engage by me. But that's basically all your ult does. So how do you actually want to play Garen? Well, Garen is kind of a funny one because generally speaking, he of course wants to play around objectives. He wants to play the macro game. He's a great split pusher, but usually you don't play Garen with TP because Ignite is just so freaking good on him. So generally speaking, you want to play him with Ignite. You want to split push and then group up for objectives. So you want to make sure that when Drakes are up, etc., then try and help out your team. From time to time, you also want to be grouping with your team just in general for pushing because he is a good team fighter. But don't underestimate his ability to split push whatsoever. He's really good at this. In terms of your combos, then we kind of shortly talked about it earlier, but you always want to do an auto attack before your Q in order to reset so you get an extra auto attack in there. For optimal damage, you want to do your E before your Q, and you want to have these 6 spins on top of your target to get the armor reduction. This is going to increase your overall damage a lot. So you ideally want to do EQ, or you want to do an E, and then you want to do an auto attack and a Q, and then you want to ult afterwards in order to do the maximum number of damage. And of course, if the target still has like a lot of health left, then of course don't use your ult before they're low enough, because the lower you get them, the more damage it will deal. But there's no idea in dealing over damage, and over damage is just doing more damage than needed in order to kill them. So kind of think about this. Think about how to actually take full advantage of this. Right now my team is kind of dying. This guy's running through me. I don't know. I'm a little unsure whether or not going down here helping this dude is a good idea. I don't think so. I'm backing out because they might be there all 5 and we just had 3 people die. So this is a question of if I can catch somebody off guard, that'll be good. I can drag this one in here. I'm pretty sure they don't have any vision here, and he is going to push, but we will try and go and help. But I won't be able to cover this. This inhib is lost 100%. There is nothing I can do about that inhib. All right, so it seems like there we go. We kind of want to try and play the front line now. We want to make sure that we can give some cover to our ADC as he spawns and as we get into fighting. So we'll try and group up now, see if we can do some more, because we are super hard to kill, to be honest, and we also deal an immense amount of damage. So team fighting wise, we do want to try, of course, using our E to deal damage to anything we go through. This is also a nice way of not getting slowed. Oh, god dang it, that Vigar stun. But generally speaking, if we can get to the back line, then that is the ideal thing. Silence them, kill them, that would be awesome. But if you can't, then don't mind it. Just make sure that you optimize the damage and try and help out being kind of a front line for your team, because you are really, really hard to kill, and you always have the option of backing out of the fight for a moment and regenerating your health with your passive. So also don't underestimate, if you are low, instead of just backing straight away, you can use your passive to get your health back up, and basically that way Gonna silence this dude. Just make sure that he doesn't. This is a good... I want to make sure. Maybe can we get out of this? Yep. We will win this fight, though. We will win it hard. So right there, the reason why I silenced the Wukong was basically that I did not want him to get a good ult off. I wanted to block him off from using... I could see he wanted to come in from the side there and use his ult onto our squishies. So what I did was just make sure to silence him, give my team a moment to respond and figure out what to do. And this is kind of some of the things you want to think about with Garen, is figure out, like, I know you don't have like CC as such, you have your silence, but think about how can you be like the most annoying to the enemy team. This is one of the things that Garen is really good at. And if your team absolutely sucks, you still have the option also of split pushing. Split pushing on Garen is super strong because he can 1v1 most people. And in the... So basically, let's talk a little bit about the early game. So in the early game, there are different ways of playing it. And generally speaking, it of course comes down to... the macro play. But if you're facing a hard matchup that you don't really feel like you can win one-on-one, just make sure you get your farm, get out the lane somewhat safely in general. Like, just get as much farm as you can, such that you can help your team once you transit into the mid and early game, or mid and late game. Once you then get to the mid and late game, then again, if you're facing a hard 1v1, you might not be able to split push that much, but of course make sure you still get the farm by basically roaming up there and getting the CS and push the lane back. All right, let's get this and let's get ourselves a Dead Man's Plate. Actually, no, let's get the Spirit Visage first. So basically, make sure that you still keep your farm up. But then you want to generally, if you're getting hard countered 1v1, make sure that you play around the team game and play around your team as much as possible, but without losing out on your CS. Like, your farm is really important. Your items are really important on Garen. But once this is settled, then it's pretty straightforward. If you, however, is in a matchup where you can win fairly easy 1v1, why are we fighting? I don't think this is a good idea at all. I'm gonna try and get out. Crap. All right, we'll go down bot side and try and drag them away. If they go Baron, I won't be able to... We cannot contest this Baron as 3, most likely. It's at least going to be risky. So we'll go down bot. We'll try and split push. Maybe we can catch this guy in transition. If he transits down here, we can just kill him real quick. Gonna kind of keep an eye. Somebody might be walking this way. I'm gonna just make sure I don't get snared by Morgana standing right there. I should have stayed. Rip. We can catch this girl. No. Okay. Nope. She warded. All right. Let's just go away from there. We can probably just shove this a little bit. Okay. They're all transitioning down here, but this should open up a Baron opportunity for us top side. So if they go Baron now, then that'll be good. I'm just gonna start roaming up there. Their team will be a little behind. Just because this is... Okay, or ADC is FK, I think. No, he's back there. All right. Sweet. Okay, Morgana's back here as well. My team seems to be going for ambush, so let's try and get in line for that. Make sure we're at least present. All right. But basically, what this means, early game, try and play safe. Make sure you get your gold. As soon as we're out of the... I don't want to use my ult on this dude. I am so not going to be able... I'm going to get out of this. No, I failed this so badly. I actually played that engage super poorly. But in the early game, try and play safe. Get your gold. If you have a lane where it's pretty easy for you and you feel like you can win one-on-one, and you do, then you can keep split pushing and using that, because you can snowball really hard and you can freeze the wave such that the enemy cannot get any farm at all, which is pretty freaking awesome. So make sure to utilize on that. I will be making a guide very soon on wave management for those of you wondering. But that is kind of that portion of it. In the mid game, you again want to do the same thing that you're doing, but start teaming up on objectives whenever necessary. And in the late game, as we talked about, Try and see if you can kill the backline, if you can get to them. If you cannot, then make sure that you silence and use your abilities on the most crucial targets. You want to get in people's faces as much as possible. This is what Garen is absolutely insane at. So he's a really, and honestly, like, even though his kit is very simple, he's a really fun champion. And I hope you guys can see this from this one. Anyway, I feel like we've been over most of the things. So I think what we're going to try and do now is I'm going to try and focus a little bit, and we'll see if we can just finish off this game. We are super fed still, but we did die a couple of times due to huge errors on my part. But this Baron should hopefully allow us to finish the game fairly easy. Oh yeah, one thing that is nice to know, if you are building the Trinity Force on Garen, then make sure that you use an ability, use an auto attack, use an ability, use an auto attack. The reason for this is that you get the increased damage from your Trinity Force even when using your Courage or W. Even though it's not an attack, it is an ability which procs your Trinity Force, giving your next auto attack more damage. So make sure that you utilize this as much as you possibly can. All right, we're just gonna... Nice. Good job. I think we can catch this dude. Yep. Nice. Triple kill. Legitimately, this is a really fun champ, actually. And you can definitely carry away to high elo with it. It is just such a fun champ. Like, even... Like... He's a really fun champ. He's a very simple one, but he really allows you to focus on the fundamentals of the game and really allows you to focus on getting those better. And that's going to help you on across all champions. Regardless of you're playing top, mid, or ADC, or support for that matter is also nice. But generally, it's going to help you across the line, understanding the fundamentals of the game dynamics, and basically the game of chess that you are playing. League of Legends is kind of a real-time chess game. And Garen allows you to kind of focus on this, prioritizing the right target, right objectives. That's why I can't tell you that, okay, if you play the game, you just need to go for the tower. Always go for the tower. Always go for the Drake. It's always kind of subjective to what's going on in the game. What's the best move for you compared to what move they just did. That's what League of Legends is all about. And Garen is an absolutely stunningly good champ to learn this, to learn how that dynamic of which kind of pawns you have to move around in order to do things. But yeah, that is actually going to be it for this video. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe down below. And yeah, if you want to watch me live, then make sure to join in on twitch.tv/MipZ_live. I stream there every single Friday. I've also left a link in the description. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, stay awesome, have fun, and take it easy, guys.